Hi, Coach. Andy Ryland here with another USA Football Chalk Talk. This week, we're lucky enough to have Western Illinois' offensive line coach and run game coordinator, A.J. Blazek. Coach is here to talk with us a little bit about the inside zone.
Thanks so much. You know, we've got a couple drills. We've got one drill that I really believe in, just as a technique piece, and then we'll get into kind of how that combo might work. Is that okay?
And that's great because
Perfect.
The technique, right, we do our individual periods. We want to drill that technique and then take it into team period. So we start at the foundation, move it up to game day.
And as O-line guys, obviously we love our technique. Just a little example, you know, the way I like to set my simple drills up, as an O-line coach, you know, your coaches, you might have a real small area with the most guys on the team. So you'll have the 5-yard line, the 10-yard line, the 15. I like to drill with lines so I can coach immediately my guys' feet. And what that does is I can set groups of linemen up. You know, they're lined up to do their drill work, and the drills are going to go out towards the field. And so that's your big picture view.
Now, when you do this, Coach, you say your feet on the line. That means you're making sure those feet never cross the line, so they're always based out, correct?
Well, exactly. So if this was the sideline, you know, in this picture, and this is the 5-yard line going that direction, I'll set my drills up. So if we're doing a reach right or a reach left.
Gotcha. So now they have a landmark they can see.
Correct. So you got both feet, and I'm the coach. I like to see from the backside. I stand here, or I might stand here, and then we put the defensive guy. You can move him around for your drills however you want, but the biggest thing I like is it's a visual key for a coach. The first step, whether you want it lateral in a tight reach or a base block, whether you want depth, depending on if you're a gap scheme blocking down, or so you can really read that. And I learned that early on is make sure you have something visual so you're giving great feedback to your players.
And more importantly, for the young kids out there, they need that visual feedback. If you say, I want you to take a step 45 degrees and gain some ground laterally, he might not know what that feels like. But if you can show him what it looks like on the line, we're in a good place.
And not even him. It's this line of guys that's waiting to go. They all get the coaching from one guy. Hey, watch that first step.
Perfect.
And they'll be you get them, the good thing is you get them going on their own at some point. You don't have to be there. You're not over the line. Oh, you're too deep. Or you're too far over the line.
And if you got guys self-coaching and self-correcting, we know we're in a real good place.
We're going. We're doing real well.
So we got our guys set up here, and we're talking about the center and the guard. What would be his step? What's the aim point for those guys when we're talking about that initial inside zone step?
No, and to go with the big picture, I guess, so you can see feet, is I'll line that up so their heel's right in the corner. Okay, the guy going. Whether it's a right-handed, left-handed stance, this foot doesn't matter as much. For the core of our inside zone game, okay, we'll put a defender straddling the line. So whether this is a center with a nose guard on him and a heavy shade, or a guard with a 3 technique or an outside shade, or a tackle or tight end, everybody's the covered guy in a combination.
Because sometimes as difficult as we make offensive football sound, right? You got inside shade, you got outside shade,
it's that
you
simple.
got head up. So now we're working outside shade technique with him straddling the line and us with our right foot on the line headed that direction.
And for our system, this is a zone right drill.
Perfect.
If you're a power or ISO or G, this can be a man drill blocking down, an inside gap drill.
Perfect. So let's talk about that zone step as we work with those inside 3.
Our biggest thing we look for, I don't want them to lose a lot of ground. And that's, you know, you hear guys all the time, well, especially if they're not zone guys, man, if he loses ground and this guy's gaining ground, we're going to be in the backfield. You know, and that's the fine line of zone blocking. The concept is cover him up, okay? And 2 simple things that our guys know, and the reason we're inside and outside zone is the rules are always the same.
Yes, sir.
Who you're blocking are always the same.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for us, your eyes are the most important thing. Aiming point. On an inside zone play, we go play side, number. So if this guy's number was 54 and we're running zone right, my eyes are right through that 4. Every lineman, tight end can be in the same line. It's not a position specific.
Exactly, right.
So you get the tight number. And then for us, depending on if you're playing loose shades or really head up guys, you can manipulate this guy. You know what? If you got a team that plays heavy shades, put him right there 1 week. Move the number for what they're going to see.
Playing a traditional, say, a 3-4 team, and you're going to have that solid nose on your center. We can line them up right there to give us a little bit of space.
It's, you know, you mentioned earlier the small guys, small hand, the snaps a little bit slower. You know, the biggest thing you got to coach is make sure they step and snap at the same time.
Yes, sir.
And those kids see it. I mean, you have to break it down to the simplest form of just on air. step, snap, step, snap.
And you can do that step, snap on air with your line, so you're working good steps, giving him self-feedback in that pre-practice phase. That's great stuff.
And really, once I'll do all line. We do everything just on air. Feel it. What's perfect feel like? Then we go to the Algebra 2.
And that's a great point, especially for our young high school guys, those freshmen. They don't know what perfect feels like. So they're trying to take your words into a feeling on the field. That can be a difficult thing. But lots of reps, lots of feedback. Now they got it. They understand that step. He's trying to gain ground laterally so he can cover up that defender, and his aim point is the 4. So now I got two things going. I got my foot going on my step, and I got my head going to the 4. Now we want to bring our shoulders and our hands, fit in there and finish that block. And so talk about that a bit.
The way I do it to get a guy's momentum going in the right direction, okay, we call that a position step. Get your body and eyes in position.
Perfect.
To block the play side number. Position step. In the first 2 steps, I mean, they're lightning fast. And it sounds almost impossible. You want 2 steps in the ground before you make contact.
And we on the offense, we know when the snap count is.
So you got the jump.
We should have a chance to get this done.
That's what makes it harder for centers. Then the backside knee, and I talk knees as opposed to feet. That backside knee, it's got to get to the guy's crotch.
Split them in half.
Here comes the lines again. If they step over the line,
too far.
They're dragging and running. So how fast can they get that foot in the ground? And technically, if they cross the line with the first step, their crotch should be just inside or even on the line.
Now this is a great point here, and this is why that line comes in handy. So my first step laterally, I see that I get over the line, but now I make sure my second step isn't too far or too narrow. So on my second step, I should be right back straddling the line.
At those first 2 steps, that's the key of everything. After that, once your eyes, and the stick point here is, a lot of people go 1, 2, and then their butt kind of works around. They think they're blocking it to cut it off. Offensive line in the inside zone, your shoulders have got to be parallel to the line of scrimmage.
You're trying to stay nice and square. You're trying to get some vertical movement here, right?
And here's as much vertical as you can. The nice thing about inside zone, if you don't have maulers up front, this cat is doing the exact same steps. If we're square, and this is hard, but your kids get it right away. I'm a big ask why guy. I tell my linemen, if you don't know why I'm asking you, ask me. Because if they know why, they buy in.
Yes, sir.
You're square, give that guy a 2-way go.
Right, and as offensive coaches, we love 2-way goes.
You got it.
The defense pushing us one way into that extra safety all the time.
Correct, and that's exactly where they're trying to get you.
So sounds good. So we stay square. We take that second step. We're straddling the line. At that point, it's just fit and finish. Staying square,
it really
working and straining.
You got it. And it's the same thing we all teach. You're looking for keeping your eyes up, see what you're hitting.
Yes, sir.
Great flat pads or good pad level.
Always.
And knee drive.
Knee drive.
You can't do enough hurdles and all the different footwork drills, plyometrics. Big guys get left out of that sometimes. They have got to be able to pick their knees up, because the higher they can pick their knee up, the more ground they can gain each step.
Get some drive and cover. So coaches, again, great way to work on that inside zone step. Give your players a visual representation. We work it versus a line. We work it with a fire hose. We work it with a pool noodle. First step lateral over the line. Position step, cover up your man. Your back leg on that second step. Knee drives through. That comes your power. Stay square, fit and finish, strain the block, get some movement downfield. A great way to incorporate simple zone drills with your young players. Instead of worrying about scheme, worrying about fitting them up,
it's all about
covering up the defender, and let's let those athletic guys make some plays for us.
You got it.
Coach Blazek, thank you for
joining
us today.
I appreciate it.
Coach, we hope you got a little bit better today. Good luck this week.